Personally, I think I'm obsessed with self-growth. Professionally, I'm obsessed with sharing what I learn with everyone.
So how do you manifest it?
How do I?
So what do you do? In what manner do you obsess yourself?
Oh, I have a very committed routine of sadhana, like how I first like the yoga and the meditation and the breathing. Whenever there's a challenge in my life, I know that this is my path to upgrade my self-growth place. And then I share it. Mindfulness, radical self-love, non-violent communication, assistant professor in the university.
Which university?
Day-1.
So you teach?
Yeah. So psychology, language, these are the areas that speak to me, and a little bit of movie making, and just completed my second. It's called Wise Heart Whispers.
And how long have you been in this? So where do you do this?
I feel like it was my path from the very beginning to search for answers and to share those answers. So it feels like, it doesn't feel like a job, it feels like this is my work, like inner work. Formally, I've been teaching since 2011, but informally, it seems like I've been thinking about these things, feeling these things.
So you must have become clear about this kind of questions.
Of course, it must be a lot of personal events. But Esther is very beautifully saying that when you don't look at things as the cause, but you as the trigger, the main cause, then everything seems like it's a reflection of you. And I was very happy with the example that you offered of this woman who was able to balance and just express her highest potential with the marriage and individually and all of those moments. Because I sometimes feel like I feel a crisis of role models. Sometimes.
True, but I say that the same. I do believe that there aren't enough role models we have talked about.
Yeah.
It's just that we have chosen to speak about role models who are defined as role models in a particular set of times. This was that, in fact, with diploma, I got to know only about 10 years back.
It's so inspiring. I thought what you were saying is inspiring, but when you said she didn't marry for this, I thought, oh, okay, sacrifice. A part of you.
There was some quality of choosing one over the other.
Yeah.
But then when you said this is truly inspiring.
And these examples alone, it's just that we haven't spoken enough about them. If you really keep looking back into, in fact, you don't even have to look into deep past. You just get to look around this lady, Maddie, or whatever, I hope, Sharma. No, not this, the earlier session there was this lady from UK. Then you, in fact, that story.
What was her story?
Well, she also went through a pretty difficult personal circumstances and circumstances. Probably she was in active poverty. She had this, I would say, qualifications to get started. So she pretty much started from scratch and then basically bootstraps. Bootstrap with very sophisticated technical which she kind of did whatever she can sell and kind of brought it a particular level. But it's just that what is so inspiring is about the shift. But nothing do you have become successful as per the dimensions and metrics that all of us generally see examples of. You will not see her example being role model. You may see a example if you look at the panel out there today.
You can see, she says she's mentoring 400 to 600 people. But for them, she is the role model.
For them, yes.
So we all find our role models. Who would inspire you?
If in a school, she's talking about herself. So when somebody sees her as a role model, she's the one who actually kind of speaks in a school. If in a school, somebody gets to know, in fact, I remember once in Gurugram, there was this lady from Bidani. She was incredibly different. She said, I never taught in a school. It's a common school. She was from Tamil Nadu. She was now she has
बीच में है ना ये रहा ना
कैसा था?
It's a lady walked in, not a man. It's a broke perceptions. Let them these are such deep beliefs. So therefore it's a government school in Gurgaon.
आवारा नहीं? चलो
In Gurgaon.
अब इसको क्या करोगे? वहाँ से कैमरा ले लो। कैमरा पेंसिल कहाँ गई? पेंसिल तुम्हारे पास ही है?
That encouraged to study in that particular age. And plus girls itself, the number of girls itself is an issue. But even there, even when girls
ये निकालना पड़ेगा भाई।
there is definitely better
ओ सब निकल जाएगा।
circumstance to look for themselves, build their own education, career, etc. Even there,
बोर्ड में गलत क्यों कर दो
imagining that a professional can also be a lady. Very beautiful. Now, in those classes, if we have these kind of examples, a small video, nothing that a 3-minute video, which is kind of recorded and kind of. To that extent, I do believe we are not picking up enough programs. There are enough programs.
This is something I have thought about because I was speaking about this with a friend about managing relationships, and I was saying that we were growing up my entire life and never seen even a single successful.
इसको तो डायरेक्टली यहीं से आउट मिल जाएगा ना कैमरे का। ये वाइट वायर की जरूरत नहीं है।
And I have
हाँ वही कह रहा हूँ ना।
really looked out for inspiring relations. And then finally I saw, I was kind of when got married and I saw that this is the way it feels like in marriage.
हाँ जी।
And then I did not just on relationship level, I was just searching around for things to share with my students. And I wanted that national geographic people about India, the pilot who flew.
देखो हो तो रहा, हिल नहीं रहा ना।
That was shipping to Taliban area. And I was like, there was not even a single interview of this person online. I managed so much stress for so many days. And
Sir, to be honest, I just completed 7 months, sir. Yes. Prior to that, I was in Westin, and for some time I was in Dubai. I finished in 2016 January in Westin Gurgaon. I worked there for 4.5 years. Then I moved to Dubai. But due to some family reason, I have a family that I have to came back again. Why I came back? Because I have a twins baby in my family, and it's very difficult for my wife to handle. So I took decision to come back, and I started here. And now I'm planning to looking for my next level, sir. Basically I'm looking for my next level, sir, because as an executive I'm working for last somewhere around 4 years. So I'm looking for something which I can everybody wants growing in the life, sir. So same with me, sir, I'm looking for growth. There is no other reason, because this property is very nice. I have no problem to continue this property. Property is very nice. There is 5 days working, but still you cannot every time you are in a comfort zone. You have to come out and you have to do something extra to achieve your targets. So that is the reason I'm looking for change, sir. Sorry, sir. I stay near Dwarka, sir, the Dwarka Road. Yes, I have my family. My father is in Indian Army, and we settled in near Dwarka Road, sir. That's not a problem, sir. This week is quite difficult for me because we have even 1,000 packs, and which is going till Sunday. It might be you are aware this women economic forum is happening, so it's 1,000 ladies are here and there, so it's quite difficult this week, but definitely next week I can plan out for something. Sir, you can give me any of the date, I can manage accordingly, sir. No problem, sir, no problem. Thank you, sir. Nice talking. Hanji, sir. Sir, the salary part is I'm getting my 30,000 CTC here, and I'm getting 26 plus service charge, which is like 29, 30 somewhere. Sir, at least on growth on 30% increment on my CTC, sir. So, may I get your name, please? Puneet, done, sir. I'll do, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Nice talking to you, sir.
Hi, ma'am.
How are you?
I'm good. You say?
Ah, nice. Beautiful.
What are you starting your meeting?
3:45. Exactly.
That's you? The first one?
Yes, that's me. Yes. Can you do me a favor?
Sure, done.
Yes, I need pictures.
With you?
Yes.
Sure, done.
Then, yeah. I want to, as if I'm speaking.
Can I take a video or some photo? Can you make video or photo?
You did pictures, right?
Yeah, big picture.
Yes. Now do video.
Okay.
Exactly. Maybe we just 1 minute. And I wanted this. Good afternoon to everyone.
Just finish. I'm making video.
Okay, video.
1, 2, 3.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dr. Fungai Mtisi from Zimbabwe. I'm glad to be here, and I'm going to be talking about Own Your Image. Last year in November, 1st of November 2016, I published a book, Own Your Image, Grooming and Development for Competitive Advantage. And in that book, there is a lot of topics, discussions, and questions that I address with regards to personal branding. I hope by the end of this presentation, you'll be able to be enlightened about some of the things that we really worry about as people, as women, yet we don't have answers to some of these things. So I'm so happy to be part of Women Economic Forum, representing my country, Zimbabwe, down there in Africa. So why do you make up every day? Why do you apply makeup, eyebrows? Why do you communicate? Why do you dress? Why do you buy expensive suits, if I may ask? Yes, I know we all know one reason, that we need ourselves to be identified and we need to brand ourselves. But how best can we do that? Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to open the Women Economic Forum T15 Personal Branding. Thank you.
Great. Very nice question.
Yeah. I hope so.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is I'm taking small clips and I'll put them together. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. Do you want me to go out?
No, sure.
Ah.
Okay, I'm thinking about this question while hearing.
All right, that's right. So let me just sit in here.
Okay.
Yes, whilst I'm...
Joke.
I'm
practice.
Hey, can you see this?
Wow. Beautiful.
Beautiful.
Oh,
Oh, you can mention power bank. Yeah, what phone is it?
shucks. That's been done.
Ah.
Samsung as well. Huawei. But you know me that the Samsung USB. I don't know to USB internet. Yeah, the first year lead na core didn't do two. Fungai starting your pay now. Little no half nice. Fungai and two. Young boy is not much. Iwe tumira pagroup ka UB live. Tumira link ye live pa website to Toastmasters. Vakuona uchipresent.
Oh, okay.
Say points for all these other speaking engagement that we do outside
with Toastmasters.
Outside the Toastmasters book.
My professional body is doing on that.
If you join a professional body, are there any other PowerPoints in this room?
And get them to give you
Of
the
course.
session.
I will type in that one. One time a day. Then you go for them, we put over them.
So what's the link? How do I do about it?
Ask them. You just send the
The
web
link there. Huh?
The link is for your guys' live website.
340, 342.
Okay. Have you seen your other?
Oh, Rina.
No.
That's
Yes.
Rina.
I look more pretty in the
Oh,
picture.
she-
I know.
No, you look just as
Oh,
pretty
you're
in person.
speaking.
Well, look, you
Yes,
picture
she's speaking.
yourself.
She's here. How are you?
Good.
Mtisi from Zimbabwe.
Cool.
Israel. How's Israel?
Long way.
I'm originally from Turkey, but I moved to Israel 8 years ago.
Okay. Really? Oh gosh.
Yeah.
My
Have
son
you been to
is-
Israel?
I wanted to. It's on my bucket list of places to visit.
I have, but that was in 1990. But funny enough, I still vividly remember certain incidents. Yeah. And my son is
So how are we
52.
going to do this?
So now,
How many time do I have?
it's already 3:43. You can take your seats. But tell me, who is the main speaker and who are the panelists out of this?
I am the main speaker.
You're the main speaker.
Yes.
Okay, then you're Dr. Fungai. And
Yes.
then after that, all the three panelists, all the three.
The other two are not here.
Yeah, the two are not here.
And you too, Rina.
I'm a panelist.
You're a panelist. So just two of you are here.
Yes.
Okay. So let me know when you can start. It's 3:43. Would you like to start now?
Yes, but I want to find out how long is my time.
No, it's just two of you. So,
Okay, so-
you could take what,
Could
25
apportion it.
minutes,
Okay.
and then you can take another 15 minutes, and maybe just leave it open for
And the
questions.
ladies
more like-
questions.
Yeah, in discussion. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
that's good.
Yeah.
So you could take it in case you get the other speaker as well. The other two speakers.
You want to wait
Then
more
maybe
minutes,
about
maybe?
20 minutes.
Yeah, maybe wait a few minutes just in case
Yeah, we'll
other
wait
people
for 5
come.
minutes.
Okay.
Wait.
Just in case other people come,
Yeah.
you'll lose everyone.
All right.
And do you have a presentation to make?
The what? Sorry?
Would you have a presentation to make?
No, it's not. Just teaching. What was teaching?
Those Nigerians.
Ngoba lathengisa zvinhu.
Ndoba display akaendwa side apa mwacho vanotenga stand zvavakaita mumwe wacho mutsvuku wacho aitengesa zvinhu iye akabva kunigeria mumwe wacho yaikazini yacho inogara muuk but munigerian as well saka uyu akuita zveentrepreneurship akatounza zvinhu izvi saka she was acting as though masamples speech yake of some of the women social entrepreneurs have made but akatouya zitengesa zuva akatotaura akanditi zvoni I'm selling things. Come to why would you come to a conference unotengesa zvikanzi zvoni ndati ndo opportunity yangu yekutengesera vanhu but I will try and put it muspeak yake kuti zviite kunge zviri kugadzirwa ne
But zvinoita here izvozvo usina kunengerikina stand. Achizongoratidza
zvinoona saka uboi hwacho kahusinganasona
ndokwati singade kuzoonekwa ipapo.
So who is taking a video? Okay.
Aya, but iwo wadi kusiyana nezveningi. Haugona kutaura neava here vari kunengerikina. Havachengeteri mapropa.
She's live on
She has live on
No,
YouTube.
I hear you, but havachengeteri. Havachengeti macopies.
Aiwa kani unotozozvingoidownloada payoutube. You can download
but
it.
I use it have all the presentations on a flash or something to give my delegates
This is 1,000.
Mhm. So maybe we can
This
start.
is 508
What do you think?
sessions, my dear.
Yeah.
And 500 over.
Because we can wait for the people who are not coming. What do you think?
Yeah, I think we should start.
Yeah.
Start because the next session. One second, let me just introduce you.
Alright, so I'm speaking from her.
Do you want a mic? Would you like a mic?
Ah,
Yes.
You do for the projection.
For the projection of the. Who is anybody here? Where should be introduced? Yeah, I just.
Light कमी हो रही है.
For your
देखियो
basic
रे मैं
introductions. And then,
I just introduce you two and then you explain.
Okay. So you can let's turn on pictures.
you're not going to make any funny and
You can take mine. Awesome.
Maybe you do like that, and yeah, how do I go back? Alright. This one, kitchen, I like it. Do you need the mic? Hello.
So 1, 2 testing.
1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1.
But
जाओगे शी नंबर ये मैं जाऊँ अगर शुरू कर देंगे ना तो ये रिकॉर्डिंग दिवा देंगे बस इतना कर देना
From Israel? Originally from especially Kanye.
Oh wow! I haven't been. I would love to. Because I really want to go to the Sufi museum, you know, dervishes. I would love to.
You go to
Start me.
and you feel as if your feet are numb. You just can't move. So.
Be honest.
You're speaking, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to kind of sit.
Or maybe
I have
you come here. You're the main speaker.
Yes.
You come here.
Okay.
You're the
I want to meet them.
Yes.
Please.
How are you? How are you? Mtisi? Fungai.
Fungai. That's the biggest one.
Fungai.
Yeah, I know. I was just trying to make sure I pronounce it right.
Yes. Fungai, yes.
Kuiljeit.
Kuiljeit. It's good to see you. Good. Yes, I can see you.
Okay. Hi.
Rina.
Nice to meet you too. You're also. Yeah, no, I was too. So we haven't started, have we?
No, we are just waiting for.
So you have the mic in your hand, so I got a little confused.
No,
Maybe it has.
No, we are not starting.
Okay.
वो अभी क्योंकि वो लेने के बाद
Kuiljeit.
I met Aarti.
Wait. Oh, is that yes. Oh, thank you so much. How are you? You sound very well.
Or
Yes, Sri Lanka.
She's from Israel.
if you people are okay without the mic, we can start. Okay, might find it without the mic. Okay, ready? I'm just going to start. Hello everybody, welcome to a post-lunch session. Hope everybody is bright and alert. We are now on a session on Own Your Image, and I would like to welcome Dr. Fungai from Zimbabwe, Rina, Barbut from Israel, and Kuiljeit from India. So let me start with Dr. Fungai.
A beautiful afternoon to all of you, ladies, and thank you for that introduction. I'm excited to be here, and this has been an eye-opener for me. Let me get straight to my topic. I'm excited to see Senela. We've been talking for the past 2 years, yes. 2 months, yes. So just a question, ladies, all of you. We were born, confirm?
Yes.
We came into this world. We were introduced in the world at birth. But I've got a question for all of you. Why do we dress? Why do we wear clothes? Why do we apply makeup? Why do we make up our hair? Can anyone answer that?
It's all right.
It's
all right.
It's all right.
No, it's all right.
It's your right to do that.
Yeah.
Good. Can't you exercise your right without dressing? Without wearing clothes?
No. Indecent exposure.
Indecent exposure. Indecent exposure. Thank you for the wonderful answers that you may have. I will give you my own perspective of why we do that. We want to own our image. I strongly believe that there is something within us that we are dressing, because there's an inside person that we are. that we have, each and every single person, there's an insight that you have. And that inside person is powerful, is bold, is courageous, and is innovative. So we dress up because there's someone inside us who is bigger than what the outside person thinks. The inside person is represented by the outside person, and we want to dress that inside person. Therefore, I titled this session, Own Your Image. Each and every single person has got an image that you have, that you must portray about yourself. Let me take a simple example. I'm sure we all know Gucci. Yes. Gucci comes up with a product concept, which is a bag. And Gucci says, for this bag to be outstanding, unique, what must we do? It can decide to focus on the size of the bag, the colors, the material, the accessories, which it can put on that bag to make it outstanding. The next question for Gucci is, so who is going to be the target market for this bag? Gucci can decide that this bag must be bought by a man who is young, executive, and maybe who earns 2,000 United States dollars and above. Lastly, Gucci now says, so how are we going to take this product to the target market? So Gucci decides to use any media, anything to communicate the bag that it has to the targeted market, to the target market. So Gucci can decide to use online platforms. Gucci can decide to use a magazine. Gucci can decide to use Facebook, or it can even organize a fashion show where it can showcase this bag. Now at this juncture, I want you to take yourself as a bag. I know you're not bags, but take yourself as a bag this time. What key features do you have that are unique and outstanding to you? Maybe you may need to write down the qualities, the unique qualities and features that you have as an individual. The next question you may need to ask yourself, who is my target market as a product? Your target market are people who can promote you. Your target market are people who can appoint you. Your target market are anyone who can release opportunities to your doorstep. So you need to go back to yourself as a product with unique special features peculiar to you and say, do these features that I have appealing and communicating to my target market? Last question you need to ask yourself is, so how am I going to communicate myself to the target market? The people who can promote you, the people who can appoint you, and the people who can release opportunities to your doorstep. So anything that you use to communicate who you are to your target market is your image. You can decide to use your social media platforms, your Facebook, your LinkedIn, your Instagram, and other online platforms. You can decide to use your curriculum vitae to communicate who you are to people. It shows your hobbies, your experience, your qualifications, your objectives, your date of birth, and any other information in your reference. You can decide to use how you dress, how you look to communicate who you are. So you can decide, this hairstyle that I have, does it appeal to the target market? The suit, the dresses that I'm wearing, do they communicate to the target market? The shoes, the colors, and everything. Am I appealing to my target market? If you are a speaker, if you are a business person, you can use that to communicate who you are. You can use your message to communicate yourself. How you say your message, you can use that to communicate who you are. So in a nutshell, image is anything and everything that you use to communicate who you are to the world, to the people who can promote you, to the people who can appoint you, and to the people who can release opportunities to you. Who doesn't want opportunities? Raise your hand. No one. Therefore, by not raising your hand, it means you truly agree with me that anything that you use to communicate who you are is your image. Last year, I wrote a book. Can I have that book in that bag? Last year, I published a book entitled Own Your Image, Grooming and Etiquette for Competitive Advantage. This book. In this book, in one of the chapters, what I did, I came up with a summary of the things that can destroy the image that we should own, that we should have. And I came up with 18 points. Some of them is multiple love relationships. If we involve or if we engage in multiple love relationships, we can destroy the image that we have. The other point was your parents, your family are a reflection of you. If people see me and if they see my mother, there mustn't be a big difference. If I want to grow as a person, I have to grow with my family. Some people neglect their parents, and as a result, they stand out from the crowd. Yet the family is not reflecting that. I also mentioned that your house, the arrangement, the ambient in your house and in your office can reflect who you are. It's not so much about the makeup, the lipstick that we apply, the eyebrows, the hair. It's anything and everything around us that communicates who we are. I'm not going to get deeper into the issues that I highlighted into the book, but I want to give you just one scenario to see how simple mistakes, simple demeanors, characteristics can destroy the image that we've worked for a long time. So, sometime last year in my country, I got an opportunity to train one big organization. And through that project, I was going to get 30,000 United States dollars as profit. Unfortunately, I didn't have 50% of the skills required to do this project. So I said, why don't I partner with my colleague whom I knew for a long time? I called George, and George said, come to my house tomorrow, 2 o'clock. The following day, my driver dropped me by his gate. He said he had other assignments to do. Pressed the intercom, the gate was opened. As I got into George's yard, this is the moment I realized George works from home. So I got in this yard. I screamed and I shrieked as I was welcomed by intimidating, malicious and humongous dogs. Raise your hand if you've got a phobia for something.
Dogs.
If you have a phobia for something, the phobia you have is nothing as compared to the phobia that I have for dogs. So I didn't know what to do. What made it worse was his house was very far away from the gate. So I pretended as if I'm talking to dogs, as if I like them. Inside me, my adrenaline was washed and bleached. I struggled to get to the pavilion. And before he comes out, you could see me from the window. And he came out and said, Dr. Mtisi, those dogs are friendly. Come here, come slowly. Eventually, I managed to get to the veranda. We continued with the discussions. In the middle of the discussions, I found myself in another awkward situation. His son. George left to the bedroom where he wanted to get one of the documents he wanted to show me. And his son came to me. Hi, sweetheart. How are you? I was reaching to the son. Why were you screaming when my mother's sleeping? He slapped me, that boy. What was I supposed to do? Slap him back? scream again. This was a deal breaker for me. I said, until when shall I continue to come, get myself into all this emotional turmoil? No. That was a deal breaker. And by the time he came from his bedroom, I had already made my mind, and I said no. Upon leaving, I gave him a copy of my book, On Your Image, Grooming and Etiquette for Competitive Advantage. Why am I sharing this story with you? I want to make it clear to you that image is not only about how we look. Even the characteristic, the personality that we have towards other people reflects how much we own our image. Let us go back to when I arrived at George's place. George is the one who gave me 2 o'clock appointment. Honestly and surely, he could have done something to make sure that I don't get myself into all this scenario. Other people with dogs would have locked their dogs before my arrival. He could have made an effort at least to leave his house, to come actually to the gate, to talk to me and try to rescue me from the situation. And he made fun out of me. Hey, Dr. Mtisi, come here. Those dogs are friendly. They won't do anything to you. Really? When I'm about to cry? When I'm about to die? You can't measure how someone feels. Because it's comfortable to you doesn't mean it's comfortable to someone. In addition to that, the behavior of his child reflected on his parenthood. So that made me make a decision right there. And remember, I said I was going to get 30,000 as profit out of this whole project. An opportunity just vanished. And an opportunity just vanished because of that. So image is not only about how you look, how good you're dressed, how you're polished. It's anything and everything that happens around you. Do you take charge of the situations that you are in? Are you considerate? Do you sometimes take your time to think about an action that you're about to take and how it will reflect on you? For those who have got offices, who work from offices, not from home, I want to pose a question to you. How many times do we get people to visit our offices and maybe our PA, receptionist or secretary tells us that there's a visitor and we say, tell them I'll see them in 2 minutes time? Or we allow the people who visit us to our working space, we allow them to suffer some pain that sometimes we don't see. Sometimes we think it's minor because we're in the comfort of our offices. We're sitting on those recliners, on those chairs, and we totally forget about what happens around us. A typical example, raise your hand if you have been to an office, if you visit someone's office, and you knock the door, and you struggle to say, if someone said, come in, or no, just that worry. How many have done that? So many times. You knock the first time, the second time. When you want to do it the third time, you can actually realize that your hand at the door, opposite poles, they will actually repel. So do we take an initiative to make other people around us feel comfortable? Or we focus on what we are doing at that point? The point I'm asking about all this is I want to bring it to your attention that image is not only about how you look, the outside looks. There is an inside person within us. And that person is better bold and courageous. Let's not forget what's happening around us. Let's be proactive. Your image is not only about how you look from outside. Remember I said, if when you were born, you were introduced to the world, why is that we can't go into the world naked? We dress up because we want to protect the inside person we are, the bigger person, the intelligent person. But that intelligent person must not forget about what's happening around, because it's protected by the outside body. This body that we have dressed up, this body that we apply makeup. So do we have the business soft skills? Remember, business soft skills are the skills that are required in business. They are intangible. You can't touch. You can't quantify. But you can see. You can't really put a finger on it. You can't really say this and this. But there is a bigger person you see or you reflect when you're dealing with someone. That character, that ability, have taken me somewhere. I am one person who tries as much as possible to be there for one another. And a lot of the clients that I get, it's not so much of the effort that I try to put on the table so that they come and I try to give them flyers, banners, and all about this so that they come to my business. But I've realized that business soft skills, they are skills that can take your business onto another level. Yes, you may look good, you may wear your sophisticated heels, sophisticated suit, expensive, this and that, but without the inside person, that image, that's the image which is powerful, that is the image which can take you to another level. So, are we able, as women, to take the bigger person within us? Are we able to take that person outside and that person reflects and brings shine, light to the people? Or we focus about the outside appearance which expires. Today the clothes that you're wearing, you're going to throw them in the washing basket, in the laundry basket. But when this, it's not about the clothes, it's not about the outside things that we have, it's about the inside person. So my message to you is, each and every single person has got some special features, special qualities, expensive, priceless. Those features, we should try as much as possible to bring them out. We communicate who we are through social media, our websites, the message, the businesses that we have. Those are the products of the inside person. So we need to make sure that we own that image. We protect it. We reflect it in good language. Let's give a good name to the image that we have. My image is different from your image. Yours is special as it is, and mine is special as it is. Of course, the outside image is good because it protects the inside person. So at the end of the day, both are important. Yet the inside is more powerful than the outside. So my word to you as I conclude is that let's not only focus on the inside, on the outside person. Yes, the outside person protects the inside person we are. Let's communicate who we are. I'm sure you agree with me that global organizations, they spend so much money. They invest in building the image of the organizations. They do that so that the message is clear and it's communicating to the right market. Same with us. Let's invest in our time, our resources in building the image so that the message is clear and is communicating to the right audience. So own your image, and own your image. Thank you.
Okay, or maybe we could do the questions at the end.
Later.
Yeah, at
Thank
the
you.
end. when
Perfect.
everyone
Thank you,
has
ladies.
spoken.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone.
So maybe you can come up.
Sure. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Rina Barbut. Thank you so much for Fungai. It was beautiful. I'm working in a cybersecurity company in a managerial role. I'm originally from Turkey, but living in Israel in the last 8 years. And in addition to that, I voluntarily mentor people for career development. Most of the cases, like I sit with people, I try to practice with them how to do like an elevator pitch. You have 60 seconds, 30 seconds, and you are meeting a very important person, and what are the main things that you want to leave, and he will remember you in this words. So the thing is, I believe that in our daily lives, we are so busy with thinking what other people think about us. We are so much focused on that, and we are trying to also adapt ourselves. Okay, I think this is a good model. I have to be like this, so I have to act like this. And at the end of the day, as you say, it's not what's happening in the inside. We are trying to leave a, image, message that it's not us. So what I do is, I do a kind of exercise with my mentees. Don't think about it. Tell me fast, the first 3 things. After this session, write down what are the 3 things that you think that you represent as a person. Okay? And then I tell them, and they are so confident about the 3 words that they think that they represent will be the same that their parents will say, their brother or sisters will say, or the colleague or the person they just met and they don't know each other well, they will say the same because they think, it's clear, it's me. They come with it. It doesn't have to be someone. It can be your goal in life. I want to be like this. I know that it's very difficult, to make a change in our lives, to change our character. We are grown ups. I'm like this for X years. How can I change my character? I'm not asking you to change your character, but if you think that there is a role model or an image that you want to come in, so you can work on it. So the idea is first of all, do this exercise. Maybe there will be interesting results. And think about it. What is the image that I really want to live on the other side of the person? And what is the image that I stand now? How my family sees me, how my colleagues they see me. And if there is a correlation or not, if I'm happy with the results and if I want to keep it or not, or if I want to adapt to different elements. And there is no to introduce myself. So you see my picture right there. I'm Kuiljeit Uppaal, and I happen to be a doctorate holder in the same subject, image management. So firstly, thank you so much, Fungai and Rina, for the lovely, delightful little things you'll have brought onto the platter. I don't see scope to add too much more, but I will share my mind regardless in the 5 minutes that I have. So I'll try not to sound repetitive because she's shared a lot and she's shared a lot too, so let me just add something more. I'll share a sentence which my mentor has used many a time. It's also here in books. You cannot not communicate. Okay, I'll repeat that again. You cannot not communicate, which typically means what? You are communicating every single second of your life. Other than, of course, we're not counting the time when you're sleeping, right? So if that is the case, that you cannot not communicate, so whether you're talking or you're not, whether you are using your body or not, your dress, your expression, everything is constantly sending a message. Constantly. Which means the importance of the message we send across is imperatively to be taken very seriously. I'm sure you agree. Anyone who doesn't agree, raise your hand. Okay. So now that we're in agreement, I just want to share something with you since I've been studying this subject for about 4 or 5 years now.
doing, like I said, I did my PhD in this. There was a gentleman called Albert Mehrabian. In the 1950s, he did a research on the impact of a message. Okay, the same message that we're talking of. So if I were to segregate his findings and just broadly tell you what he came up with, he said 55% of the impact that this message supposedly makes comes out of your appearance and your body language. 38% comes out of the tonality of your voice, and only 7%, my friends, comes out of what you actually say. Now, this is a very well-known research because anybody who's read this obviously knows this. But the fact is, ironically, we still don't put it into use. The aim was not here to quote the percentages. The aim was to understand that this is actually a proven thing. This research is a well-accepted one, and so we need to step out and see what is important to us. As Fungai shared earlier, your inner self is very, very important because your image is your self-image, your perceived image, and the projected image all put together. That conveys what you are as a person. So what you think of yourself, what others think of you, and what you want to project, all of that is like a big, solid piece of work that has to go in towards what you create your image to be. So it's not going to be ever in seclusion. So I'll support what Gandhiji, the father of our nation, said, even in terms of dressing. He said, whatever you wear with dignity. Right? So it is not about wearing brands. And that's why I'm anti this. I shouldn't use the word anti, it's a very strong word. But I would rather say I do not believe in the concept of makeovers because it's very superficial. And so if you have to actually work around the image of a person, starting with yourselves, look within first. Do your own little rendezvous. Deep, really, really deep. Search for what you represent, search for what your value system is, what your belief system is, and then start from there, inside to out, to try and convey what is the truest and best representation of yourselves. Always strive to be your best own version. I think that's also a very commonly used sentence, but it's not something to be nullified. At the end of the day, when you are what you've planned to be, you will automatically own your image. Because that is your own authentic representation. Please do not copy anyone else. The best part is each one of us sitting here in this room. I, for myself, I'm my own favorite. So firstly, make yourself your own favorite. It starts right there. And for that, at least clap for yourselves. That's a good starting point. I get up every morning, I give myself a flying kiss when I look at myself in the mirror and I say, like, wow, God's made something out there. I love myself completely. There can be only one Kuiljeit Uppaal in the entire universe. It calls for celebration. As simple as that. So, if you can all celebrate your own special moments.
We can open the panel for questions.
Yes. Let's do it this way. Your name, country, and the question.
Okay. I am from India, from Delhi itself. I also work as a trainer and an image consultant. So my question to anybody who goes and how to look, how do you convince them that you could help them with that? But that's just going to be a surface thing.
That person is quite clear, firstly, in his head or her head, that that person is only looking at a makeover. It's very clear. In that case, and this is truly only for professional basis, right, from what I gather. This has got nothing to do with us as an actually wanting to make that entire difference. So, if you're looking at it in a typical right, so you're just going to go as simply as, okay, this is what you want, but I think in fairness to the craft and fairness to the knowledge, it's good to kind of sound off that person that, look, this is going to be just one small aspect of you. It may not linger. Fine, I'll give you what you want, but this is also an add-on. You know, the larger aspect is here. You just touch the surface right now, and you need to know that it actually is far more. And so, if you want to get back, you can always feel free to.
Otherwise,
get
just
back
do
to me.
So, we as people, we are very result-oriented. And at the end of the day, if we're talking about a company, when you ask each employee what is the goal of the company, in a very, very basic sense, they will say, make money.
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah. Always people focus on the numbers. So your client will focus on the result probably, but your approach can be like, how can I, why I have to get this result, and then how I can get the result. And if you as a trainer, if you will like make him show that, like, I understand the why, but if you want to get the result like this, you have to make a change in your why. So you can bring your why, or you can also bring like examples like examples that more clients they think like him, and they are using like a different path. So yeah, so this is my approach.
Thank you. And just to buttress what they've said, I use a 3D approach. Dress for success, dress for corporate, and dressing that you're communicating. The message that other people understand from what you are saying, and that's what you want to say. So people will always give you that feedback that, yesterday, how you looked and what you were doing, superb. I think that works well for you. So that person, like she said, that you need to highlight to them that makeover, yes, it's for today's, yes, temporary, but tomorrow they'll have that message. And I think a client will give you respect because you've highlighted to them. Imagine if you don't highlight it to them and tomorrow they get that feedback from someone who is not an image consultant, then they're going to be disappointed. Thank you. Other question? Yes.
Yeah, so in terms of color, I know you said dress for corporate and stuff like that, but can you go with the season as well? Like, can you adopt the colors that are going for the season?
All right. So I will answer from what happens in my country. Most corporates, they've got a dress code, and usually that dress code guides you. So even if it's summer, there's summer wear for the corporate. So you do not really need to worry about that. However, if you work for yourself or within an organization that doesn't have a corporate code of dressing, they are basic colors. Usually I advise my clients to have basic colors. For instance, I'll use myself. My basic colors are black, white, and gray. Those are the colors that I usually wear. Then I will choose in frills that I also want. Frills, they are pop-up colors that I like a soft peach, pink, light green, not very bright colors. So I recommend my clients to have their basic colors. For me, black, white, and gray. Then I'll have my frills, soft pinks, soft yellows. So anyone can also do that. So that you try to write a signature in terms of how you dress, how you look. I recommend my clients that I don't want to confuse people with who am I. A good example that I can give, I don't know, maybe relates to you. Let us use maybe Barack Obama and Michelle Obama. If anyone tells you that, Barack is outside, there's a kind of Barack that you expect in terms of the clothes, the fitting, the suits, the fit, everything. You will never mistake him with anyone else. Same with Michelle. If you are told that Michelle is outside, there's a kind of silhouette, dressing structure that you already expect, even the hairstyle. So always try to brand yourself. The way we are consistent with logos, corporate colors, and all that, I also recommend that when it comes to style. Try to brand yourself, write a signature in terms of the silhouettes that you like. Of course, there are events like weddings, galas, awards. You can dress for the event, but in terms of your everyday look, yes, people must not mistake you for someone else or for some. You have to communicate yourself. You remember your image is like your logo, your corporate tagline. Do you want to add something?
I will probably just increase a couple of colors to that listing, if I may. So, I would also add a navy blue there.
Yes. Yes.
Because at least in the Indian context, I mean, we use a lot of navy.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
That's
So
right. Even in my country, navy blue is also accepted. And it's just to me black and white for me. I love black and white. I'm safe.
yeah, your CEO material. Yeah, but typically, I mean,
Yes, like
you know,
that.
the way the example she used of Barack Obama and Michelle.
Condoleezza Rice.
I would say if you have to even visualize just a CEO of a company.
Yes.
You would typically go with, okay, when we're talking of the highest level of a CEO, okay, we're talking of the guy who calls the shots.
Yeah.
What is it, the dress that comes to your mind? Okay, you typically going to say a black suit. Okay, fine. What color shirt? White shirt. It just goes with the psyche.
Exactly.
And